Welcome back to a repair video. However, a little bit of a different type of repair video. Yeah. There's a reason this channel is called Robert's Smorgasbord. Let's have a closer look at that. So it says in German, Kornmühle. That means it's a grain mill. But I suspect in the last decade or so, it was misused as a coffee grinder. Anyway, it's really nicely built. Let's have some close-ups. So this is all metal. There's not a single piece of plastic here. And yeah, that top board is held on by 4 screws, which, and the funnel is all metal. Yeah, the handle is all metal. But for that wooden piece here, which is of course rotating, yeah, for your convenience, there are 2 massive screws in here, and down there is the grinding mechanism itself. Maybe I can zoom down there, just a sec. Yeah, there you can see the grinding mechanism, which is also really massive. It has a wooden drawer on the front. We will have a look at that too in a second. Yeah, for the grinded stuff. And yeah, the body and then the bottom board, which came loose. We will make a failure analysis in a second. I just wanted to show you some more details because that is really beautifully made. So yeah, indeed, it was used for coffee, it seems. And yeah, this is all wood. I don't know if it's handmade, but yeah, there is no visible screw. This is all, I don't know how carpenters call that. I mean, that's little drawer. Come on. That's so nice. And also the details of the of the body. There are 2 metal springs in here, yeah, to hold the drawer in position, so it doesn't, yeah, when you wiggle that, it comes out. Can I get a zoom out here? Yeah, you see the wood construction again. No screws, all, yeah, fitted together. It's very, very nice. And then they tacked on the bottom just with these, metal thingies here, which were driven in from the other side. We'll have a detailed look at that now. So that was made in Western Germany. So yeah, before 1990. So this is well over 30 years old, and it was made by Sassenhaus. Anyway, these 2 steel tacks here were just, yeah, driven from the bottom into the frame, and that was kept the bottom attached to the frame. We will change that, of course, and reattach the bottom in a manner that is, yeah, equivalent to the quality of the rest of this mill. So the first order of the day would be to remove these metal tacks here and to clean things up maybe a little. Next, I'm marking the positions of the 8 holes from the 4 clamps because I want to drill some holes in here for some nice small brass screws, which Well, hold that thing together, hopefully for the next 30 years or so. And yeah, just because I'm wearing glasses at my old age, and so not to lose these holes, I mark them. And I will drill my pilot holes from this side. That was the side that was connected to the mill. So I will not drill the pilot hole from the bottom. Reason being, as you maybe saw, these things go not absolutely straight through the wood, but you drive them in and then they worm their way somehow through the wood and they come out at someplace else. And I want to meet up these places exactly with the holes I have here on the unit itself. I have a closer look with you at that now. Next, I'm trying to find the spots where the steel clamps entered the wood here in the frame or in the body. And I have a little hint here. I just have to keep in mind that that was, here on the back. Okay, now I have a rough idea how far off the center line of the wood these metal clamps went in. I just have to be very careful with the orientation. And now I can eyeball where I want to have my pilot holes. So for example, that one is pretty much on center here, so this would be these holes. So we go here just for the center and we eyeball it. Put our pilot hole here. This on that side, this is a little bit off center. I want this a little bit more on the outside, just a tad. So we are coming in here aboutish. Okay, this is very off center line. So we need to move quite a bit to the outside. And this is soft wood, okay? I have no idea what wood exactly that is. Your carpenter types can probably tell, but I can't. That leaves us with the one here at the back, and I don't want to drill that far back here. I would like to drill a little bit here, and this is pretty much on the center line, so let's do the hole here. I'm using here a 1.5 millimeter drill bit for metal because I don't have a 1.5 millimeter drill bit for wood, and I think there are no 1.5 millimeter drill bits for wood. Maybe there are, but I don't have them. And I'm using here a right angle or a straight edge, which I can adjust here at the back to at least line up the holes that I marked out on each side of the board. So in theory, my alignment should be exactly the same on that side. And because, if the whole thing is symmetrical, left to right, and Yeah. It looks like it is. Okay, next operation. Now I'll attach the body to the bottom again with some clamps, at least temporary, for drilling through the pilot holes into the wood of the body. My only hint here is, yeah, the shadow that has been burned here into the wood where it was not covered from the sunlight in the last 30 plus years. And yeah, wish me luck, because if that doesn't work out, I'm drilling in the wrong spots. And I will also check, yeah, how much space is on the left, on the right, and on the back to see if my eyeballing really worked out. Yeah, I'm kind of getting mixed signals here from the shadowing, so where the wood is still really light in color and where it has darkened through due to the sunlight. But this is as good as it gets. Oh yeah, and I also marked my pilot holes here in the back where I will drill in the next step. They were quite easy to find because, yeah, these steel clamps here are, or the steel is in diameter smaller than my drill bit, so only the hole where my drill bit would fit in, that's the one I have to drill now from the other side. One word about the size of the drill bit I choose. The drill bit is only slightly smaller for the pilot holes than the screw itself. Yeah, maybe half a millimeter, maybe a little over half a millimeter. The reason being, the wood is very thin, or the wall where we are screwing in, the wood wall is very thin, and I don't want the screw when it's going in to exert a lot of pressure, maybe splitting the wood. Also considering we're maybe off the center of the wood a wee bit. I mean, I did my best, but yeah, you know, things happen. Whew. Now comes the most critical operation, that is extending the pilot holes, the four ones in the bottom plate, into the side walls. And yeah, I had to play a bit Tower of Hanoi or Tower of Pisa, whatever you want to call it, yeah, to accommodate the clamps here, which take up quite some space. So we have here my little Proxon saw, two UPS cases, lots of wood to get everything up to height. Yeah, it's simply the length you have to go to when you don't have large machines for yeah, doing such operations, but only very small ones. Let's do it. That went quite well. So all my 4 pilot holes are pretty much on the center line of the sidewalls here, so no risk of splitting, or less risk of splitting the wood when driving in the screws in the end. And yeah, they are also situated in the area where the old holes from the clamps are. That's also very nice, but for the exception of that hole, which I intentionally moved a little bit inward because that area here looked a little bit weak, yeah, where the 2 outer walls here are joined. There's a big hole, and I don't know if driving a screw in here in that area is a good idea. So I moved that a little bit inward. Okay, last 2 machining operations. First, I drill my pilot holes just through the bottom plate with 2.5 millimeter to get up to the almost the diameter of the screw here at the end. And yeah, then I will countersink the whole stuff, all 4 holes from the back side, of course, so that the screw head will disappear inside the wood. Okay, let's do that. And I'm also using a drill bit for metal. Maybe there are even 2.5 millimeter wood drill bits. But, you know, extending an existing hole with a wood drill bit, which has a sharp center and then teeth, teeth outside at the radius, is messy. You cannot really center it up on an existing hole. So I'm using again a drill bit for metal, which is okay because the wood is really soft. Okay, I upgraded to 3 millimeter just now because the 2.5 millimeter, it was a nice fit here for the top part of the screw. But yeah, where the thread is, that didn't fit. And I want this to be a wee bit loosey-goosey in the hole. At least, yeah, in the bottom plate. Okay, and now they should fit just fine. Perfect. Okay, for countersinking, I'm using a center drill and not special tools for countersinking, special bits. Reason being, I can center that up on the hole here, and so it will be, really nice, hopefully. And I should countersink, of course, from the right side. Good thing you stopped me in time there. Okay, I made sure that they are really going in deep enough, because if you have this on your kitchen counter and you're milling away, you don't want these metal screws to scratch on the surface of your kitchen counter, do you? Okay, let's clean up things, maybe get out some sandpaper and put everything together. Before putting everything together, I'm just sanding over the new screw holes. There, you can feel there's a little bit of unevenness, and also where the old metal clamps went through. But only, very lightly. I'm doing the same with the sidewalls, or at least I intended to, but this is absolutely smooth here. However, the edges, you can feel that there is something, so I'm gonna break them just slightly. Great. Okay, just a tiny little bit of wood glue, not too much. That is too much here in the corner, but I have some wet wipes to get rid of that, and then hopefully we can reassemble that thing. Uh-oh. Okay. That's okay. Yeah. I got these screws from a scrap heap challenge, and this is not looking good. We stop here. Ah, shit. Sorry. This is not good at all. Get the glue off. Okay, that went less optimal. I think I can still grab that screw here. I don't think I can. Okay, now I have to think. That's the problem. These brass screws are really, really soft. And I mean, this is soft wood, but obviously the wood is even harder than the brass screw. So here's what I'm gonna do. Of course, we will drill out the pilot holes to a larger diameter, at least 2 millimeters, maybe 2.3, maybe 2.5. I'm not quite sure yet. I will test that. And yeah, regarding that hole, we basically have 3 alternatives. Just leave it at that and forget about that hole. I don't want to do that. Second, try to drill that out, which will be a pain in the ass, but maybe it's doable. So I cannot grab that and turn it out. I tried it several different ways, and that brass is too soft. Yeah, you cannot transfer the torque here at that little stubby end to the hole of the screw. It just flakes off. And if that doesn't work, we can just fake at the bottom plate that there's a screw in here. I can cut that off and then we glue it in, so it looks good. I don't like that alternative. The next alternative is we drill another hole and put a screw in there. I don't like that either, but yeah, what can you do? Yeah. Yeah, starting that hole was a little bit tricky, but in the end it worked out quite well. Yeah, I will pre-drill now all holes to the length of these screws with 2 millimeter, I guess, maybe even a little further. Okay, and now I will test with a good screw if this is really going in here easily. If not, I make the hole bigger. Okay, I make the holes bigger. I only have 4 more of these screws, so I can't take any risk there. 2.35 millimeters. Let's go for 2.5 millimeters. Yeah, that starts easy enough. But let's test that hole out. So when the last time I drilled down here, I didn't feel any brass and I didn't see any brass coming out. Seems good enough. Okay, let me clean up the mess. Out of frame, probably. Let me clean up the mess and then we try to assemble the thing again. Okay, second try, and I sanded again here. I didn't show that in the video, but yeah, it's really smooth and all the old, the wood glue from the first try is gone. So that surface is really nice again. That was the repair of the pre-1990 grain mill. And it might be even older than that. So it might be from the 1960s or something. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, if we compare what they've originally done, yeah, with those Phillips head steel screws here at the top, which are still holding up, okay. But these steel clamps just driven in here, and now we have nice brass screws, and yeah, it's also glued on. I'd say it's an improvement. Anyway, I've learned a few things here during that repair. Most important, the hard fact that brass is much weaker than steel, and I've looked it up. It's worst case 3 times weaker than steel, and I'm talking here run-of-the-mill steel. Yeah, not high carbon steel or tool steel or something, just your normal steel which is used to make screws and stuff. And I should have noticed that when I was driving in the screws the first time. There was some springy action here when I turned the screwdriver, and I put it down to the wood being really soft. Then in fact it was probably already the screws, the brass screws, being deformed and starting to break. But I was so focused on getting the screws in that I ignored it. So yeah, that's the first lesson. If you noticed or have the feeling something is wrong, something is probably wrong, and you should stop and rethink what you're doing. The second thing is when the screw broke, I got a really sinking feeling in my stomach, but I kept going. And in the end, I was successful. Okay. Interestingly, if you watch aviation channels, they also tell you in these disaster and security and fly safe videos, first, if disaster strikes, keep flying the plane. So yeah, if your hole doesn't work out as planned, keep drilling. You get there somehow. It might be not nice, but you get there. And second, this is, I don't know how they call it, target focus. You're so focused on finishing a task or getting there that you ignore everything, every issue that comes on left or right, and that might lead to disaster. As in my case, I've driven in the screws, I've noticed something is a little bit off, but I ignored it because I thought this was the last take and I could finish the video. Yeah, but anyway, turned out nice, and my friend will be very happy to get her grain mill back. I mean, it was sitting here for several weeks or maybe month. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's it for today. Bye.